If you've watched any of my shows this season, you know I have said that Brandon Aiyuk will never take another snap for the 49ers again. Well, guess what? Now it's not just me saying it. Now it's prominent team insiders as well. Both Matt Maiocco and Tim Kawakami have talked about Aiyuk's time with the 49ers possibly being over. Kawakami wrote in the San Francisco Standard, quote, if he hadn't suffered the injury, Aiyuk might have already been traded. He has a $27 million guaranteed salary next season that was built for a trade. It won't accelerate onto the 49ers cap if he's traded and can be fit onto a new team's cap pretty simply with a few alterations. Now, it's one thing to have a nice contract to trade that other teams can work with. It's another thing to see if the 49ers will actually do it. Because remember, Juwan Jennings is a free agent after the year. Kendrick Bourne is a free agent after the year. All of a sudden, the Niners would be looking at a wide receiving core of Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, and Jacob Cowing. That is not exactly a loaded wide receiver core. I believe Demarcus Robinson actually has 1 year left on his contract as well. Even he doesn't really do much to change the picture of what they are this year. But as I have been telling you, it doesn't really matter. The Niners want to get rid of Brandon Aiyuk. And if you don't believe me, read more of what Tim Kawakami said in the San Francisco Standard. Quote, certain parts of the 49ers front office has been all but done with Aiyuk for a while now, and I'm not sure Shanahan and Lynch are in the mood to stand up for him anymore. I think everybody else is getting ready for Aiyuk to be an ex-49er by March, even if the 49ers probably get almost nothing in return for him. Now, I have a couple questions coming out of this. First,
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code GSP. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
who are the parts of the 49ers front office allegedly that are done with Brandon Aiyuk if it's not John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan? And also, if it's not John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, who cares? So when Tim writes that, I don't think he really means the front office. What I think Tim really means is Jed York. I think it's ownership. I think it's ownership that is done with Brandon Aiyuk and has been. They didn't want to sign Brandon Aiyuk before they signed him to that contract. They got mad at all the stuff he was doing to try and get his way out of town. And then when they signed the contract, they told everybody how much they instantly regretted it, but they did it because Kyle Shanahan ran up the stairs and stopped the trade at the last second. I don't think it's part of the front office that's done with Brandon Aiyuk. I think it's Jed York and ownership who's done with Brandon Aiyuk. And I think that is why, like Tim said, they don't care what they get for him. They will trade him for a bag of cats just to get him off the team, to get that contract off the books, and they will say, football consequences, be damned. I really do think that's where they are. And by the way, I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is too upset about that situation either. I don't really know that he wanted to be with the 49ers any longer. I think things just sort of soured, and he really wants to be in Washington with his guy, Jaden Daniels, or Pittsburgh, possibly because he likes Mike Tomlin, although who knows what Tomlin's future is going to be. I just think it's time for a split. It's going to be a split, and it's going to leave the 49ers in a bit of a bind. Now, look, if you can get a draft pick for Brandon Aiyuk and you trade Mac Jones and you get another draft pick back and you've got some of your own picks as well, we know you can find wide receivers out there, right? Good wide receivers come from multiple rounds in the draft. It is not just the first round. It's one of the positions that you can have some luck with at some deeper positions in the draft. But it looks like the 49ers are going to have to go that route because they're just done with Brandon Aiyuk. They should have traded him. They never should have paid him. If that's how ownership felt, then they should have just ripped the Band-Aid off and gotten this thing out of the way. Instead, they've been trying to do this dance where he plays and he's not very good, and then he gets hurt, and now he's rehabbing, and when is he going to come back? It's just a sad end of a sorry episode, really. And we saw when Brandon Aiyuk was healthy what he could do with this offense in 2023. He was tremendous. He was tremendously good. One of the most efficient wide receivers, if not the most efficient wide receiver in the league. He worked perfectly with Kittle and McCaffrey in that offense and how Shanahan used him. And then the money got in the way. And then the holdout happened. And then the injury happened. And we never got to see it again, which is a shame because I actually think this offense with Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Aiyuk healthy and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey is as good a group of skill players as any in the league. But it looks like we are never, ever going to see it. It looks like we have seen the last of number 11 on the field with the 49ers. Now the only question becomes, what do they get back for Brandon Aiyuk, and what do they do with it?